Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayatudhirayet Nashta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Omaginam Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sakagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sha Namaham Vishnupada Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Garatvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadatara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I'm seeking your blessing to say something inspirational and helpful. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 16, verse 45. But I don't see any meter here, so probably I will be just reading by myself, and then we will repeat word by word. Atha Bhagavan Vyam Aduna Vat Avaloka Parimrishta Sayamalach Sura Rishina Yat Kathitam Tavakena Katham Anyatta Bhavati Ada Therefore Bhagavan, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vayam we Aduna as at present moment Tvat Avaloka by seeing you Parimrishta wiped away Ashayamalaha contaminated desires in the heart Surarishuna by the great sages of the demigods like Narada Yad which Kathitam spoken Tavakena who is your devotee Katham how Anyatha otherwise Bhavati can it be. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Therefore, my dear Lord, simply seeing you has now wiped away all the contamination of sinful activities and their results of material attachments and lusty desires, which always filled my mind and the core of my heart. Whatever is predicted by the great sage Narada Muni cannot be otherwise. In other words, I have obtained your audience as a result of being trained by Narada Muni. Purport. This is a process of the perfect way. One must take lessons from authorities like Narada, Vyasa, and Asita and follow their principles. Then one will be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead even with one's own eyes. One only needs training. Atakshi Krishna namadvi nabhavat grahim indriyah. Читаем Чаритамрита Madhya Lila. With our blind eyes and other senses, we cannot perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if we engage our senses in the service of the Lord according to the instructions of the authorities, it will be possible to see Him. As soon as one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the sinful reactions in the core of one's heart are certainly vanquished. So once more of the verse. Therefore, my dear Lord, simply seeing you has now wiped away all the contaminations of sinful activities and their results of material attachments and lusty desires, which always filled my mind and the core of my heart. Whatever is predicted by the great sages, Narada Muni, cannot be otherwise. In other words, I have obtained your audience as a result of being trained by Narada Muni. So this particular section of the verses describe direct darshan of the Lord. And who can see the Lord, or eligibility of seeing the Lord, and who cannot, or disqualification for seeing the Lord. And also effect of this darshan in our life. In the presence of the Lord, all his shaktis become also manifest to the eye of the devotee, and he comes into the direct contact with all this energy. And particularly, it was mentioned here, the three energies of the Lord which affect us during this darshan or facilitate us in our loving affairs with the Lord during this darshan. First, it's Ichha Shakti of the Lord, and then Jnana Shakti of the Lord, and then Kriya Shakti of the Lord. All of them become accessible to us. And actually, we cannot have this reciprocation with the Lord on our own during this darshan. And all these energies, because they are already accessible, they facilitate us. As it happened with Dhruva Maharaj. He was a 5-year-old boy. And when the Lord appeared in front of him, he couldn't offer any prayers. He was not trained. He didn't have knowledge how to compile nice verses. But he got this desire, yes, I want to offer something to my Lord, right? And then all this energy, one by one, they facilitated Dhruva in his desire. That's how he got empowered to have this reciprocation with the Lord during this darshan. That's exactly what's happening when we have this darshan, when we stay in front of the Lord. This empowerment comes together with the desire. First desire comes to do something with the Lord, to be able to reciprocate with Him. And then empowerment comes to facilitate, to support this desire, and to fulfill it. And we will come to it. And actually, this is the meaning of the darshan. We come to have this loving relationship with the Lord during this darshan. The Lord is there for us for this purpose. He has this passionate desire to have this reciprocation with His devotees. So we are there for this, but we cannot do alone, and then we are helped with His different energies. That's what's happening during the darshan. And first point that Maharaja Chitraketu makes here, only by the mercy of the spiritual master one can see the Lord face to face. Otherwise, it's just impossible. And by Narada Muni's grace, upon his different disciples, like we have the examples, numerous examples of these disciples. We have Prachetas, we have Dhruva Maharaja himself, we have Chitraketu Maharaja, and we have, of course, Prahlada Maharaja. All of them, they were disciples of Narada Muni, and all of them, they got this direct darshan of the Lord. That's actually the power of bona fide spiritual master. He can give the direct realization of the Lord, and the Lord being pleased with this mutual effort of the spiritual master and the disciple. He grant his audience to these obedient and sincere disciples. Thus Narada Muni is renowned as the greatest among all the Vaishnavas, the great spiritual master. Why? Because he can give Krishna to everyone he likes. He doesn't discriminate between whom he takes as his disciple. It can be Mrigari, the hunter, uncivilized aborigine, who he just gave the knowledge of devotional service. He gave this pure devotional service. And it could be Chitraketu Maharaj, sophisticated king with an elevated consciousness. It doesn't matter for him. He can give everyone this pure bhakti right on the spot. This is the greatness of him. And therefore, he is renowned as the greatest among the greatest of Vaishnavas, as well as the greatest among the sages, because usually sages, they don't give bhakti because they're not trained in bhakti. They didn't receive it in first place. Therefore, they can give only jnana or jnana mishra bhakti, bhakti mixed with knowledge. That's what they can give. But Narada is the greatest among the greatest sages. He is a sage among the sages, the greatest sage, just because of this. He can give pure bhakti instead of just giving jnana or mixed devotion. Therefore, for success, we must get this training from our spiritual master. And also the question arises why it's so, why the training is necessary. Because the spiritual master, he is a pure representative of Krishna. And he has developed some particular qualities which please Krishna the most. And Krishna has one burning desire. He doesn't have any desires. He's Atmarama. He's self-satisfied. He has this source of bliss inside. And he's Atmakama. If he gets any desire, he's instantly fulfilled, because that's the action of his Sati Sankalpa Shakti or Sarva Sankalpa Shakti. It instantly fulfills all the desires of the Lord. But still he has one burning desire. And this was a special desire. He wants to see all the living entities happy. But how it's possible if they're here? So he wants to take them there where they will get this happiness, to the spiritual abode of him. And this anxiety, actually, it's defined like an anxiety of the Lord. The spiritual master takes this anxiety and put it on his shoulder and make it his mission, just to take and bring all this fallen soul to Krishna's abode. Therefore, he's so dear to the Lord, just because of this reason. He's fully in tune of this inner desire of the Lord to see everyone happy. And by serving him, we develop the same qualities of our spiritual master. And the prominent quality in our spiritual master is that's his compassion. That's the crown queen of all his qualities. And out of his compassion, we are all here now, because of the compassion. Because of this compassion of Srila Prabhupada, we are here sitting now and have this chance to do this devotional service, to hear and chant. And we follow the example of our spiritual master, and by the mercy of this following him and by the mercy of being trained by him, what happening? Actually, he connects us to all the Shakti which are in his disposal. We already mentioned them, that Ichha Shakti, and then Jnana Shakti, and then Kriya Shakti. That's what empowers him to be the best of the devotees, and that what empowers us to become the same. That's the glorious expertise of our spiritual master, to connect us to all this so that we get empowered in our devotional service. Thus we are getting the realization of Krishna, and direct darshan of Krishna. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna say Tumara, Krishna ditapara, Tumara shakati achke, amita kangala. Krishna, Krishna bole, tava pachhe pachi. Krishna say Tumara, Krishna is yours. Krishna ditapara. Tamara shakati achke, you have the Shakti, Shakti, Tamara, that's your Shakti. You have this power to give it to me, therefore I'm just running after you and begging and crying, please give me Krishna, give me Krishna. That's how we should be eager to get this mercy from our spiritual master. And the next poet, the darshan of Krishna. There are 4 ways actually to see Krishna. And one is on the level of sadhana bhakti, which we perform now. And this is direct darshan of Archa Vigraha, which we have taken darshan of our beautiful deities. And then on the level of sadhya, we can see Krishna in the heart when he enters the heart on the level of Baba. As a spurti, it's like momentarily vision of Krishna when he revealed himself and then just disappeared. Spurti may repeat itself. And then on the level of advanced prema, this spurti become like long-lasting. There is no interruption in vision of the Lord, in reciprocation with the Lord. That's advanced prema. And also one more way to see Krishna, that's the vision of Mahabhavata. It's manifested by Mahabhavata in his vision. He sees everything like manifestation of Krishna. He sees everything like Krishna. He sees Krishna everywhere. That's the vision of Mahabhavata. Because he doesn't discriminate between this material manifestation as visible creation of the Lord and the Creator itself, or himself. And Nimbarkacharya explained why Krishna enters into the heart of the devotee. It's very interesting and very profound. He says that when the living entity comes into contact with this material nature, when it enters this material world from the spiritual world, what's happening? By nature, the living entity is Satchitananda. So the Chit and Ananda diminishing by level up to the few drops remain. So out of all this volume of Chit and Ananda is our nature, it just decreases, and only a few drops remain for us to be here, to stay here. Otherwise, we don't need so much of Ananda. We cannot enjoy anyway. And the same with the Chit. And when it's happening, Chit, that's the energy of cognition or energy of knowledge. And it's in charge of our proper understanding of things, as well as for the keeping our real ego. I'm a servant, right? Ahanta, I identify myself. I'm a servant. And when this Chit is not there, it's only a small portion of this Chit left, literally speaking 1 drop, then there's no this support from Chit energy in understanding who am I. It cannot keep anyway my identification. And then the contact with matter gives me false identification, yeah? What is my ahanta? What is me now? I'm a servant of my body. And what is my mamata, or what I consider to be mine? That's the service of this body which brings me happiness. That's what's happening when the living entity comes to this material world. And in the process of our sadhana bhakti, what we are doing, we try to uncover these few drops of Chit and Ananda so that it become accessible to us. But it's not enough, actually, to have proper reciprocation with the Lord. Therefore, on the level of Bhava Bhakti, this missing portion of Chit and Ananda, or knowledge and Ananda, comes, descends. And we call this combination of Chit and Ananda, which was missing before, Svarupa Shakti of the Lord. So this Svarupa Shakti, Svarupa Shakti, or the energy of personal form of the Lord, it descends in the heart. So now they combine together and our original nature is restored. That's what's happening on the level of Bhava Bhakti. And because the part of this energy, Svarupa Shakti energy, that's Kladini energy, right? Kladini, that's Srimati Radharani herself. And Krishna gets attracted to the person in whom this Kladini Shakti manifests itself. And since then, he's there. Because he's interested only in Kladini Shakti, only in Srimati Radharani. And when she's in the heart, then he naturally comes in. That's how he manifests his attraction to this energy of pleasure, which already manifests in the heart. He enters to be with her. And then our relationship starts, our real relationship from this point. And how Krishna, that was the reason of Krishna to enter, to be together with Kladini energy. And this reveals our rasa. And then the verse, the last verse of Chatur Shloka Gita, it's explained how Krishna enters the heart. That's verse 10-11. Tesham evanukam partam aham agyana jam tamahana shayam yatma bhavasto jnana dipena basvatam. To those, Tesham, and those were described in the previous verse, satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Always engage satatam yuktanam in bhajatam, in worshiping me with priti, with love and attachment. To those, first part, I am giving intelligence, and then how is intelligence implied? Eva anukam partam, I am giving them special mercy, giving this intelligence. Which mercy? Tishaneva anukam partam. Aham agyana jam tamahan nashayam, I personally dispel nashayam, or dissipate this remain darkness of ignorance which may be still there in the heart. Nashayam atma bhavasto, I become situated in the bhava, in the emotions, or as our acharya take it, in the level of bhava. The level of bhava is already a level of sadhya, or advanced devotion. Nashayam atma bhavasto jnana dipena basvata, and with the shining lamp of the knowledge, I dissipate this darkness. That's the personal appearance in the heart of Krishna affects this. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this verse actually, because the meaning of this verse is very deep, very profound. He says, I enter into the heart. Of course, does Krishna really enter the heart? He's already there, yeah, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses this poetic expression to stress this, that Krishna appears in the heart, actually. He doesn't enter, he appears there, because before, of course, he was there in which form? Paramatma. And then Paramatma, on that level, it transformed into the beautiful form of Krishna, that Krishna reappeared there as Krishna already. So, therefore, I enter in your heart, in your bhava, and become situated there. As a bee enters the lotus. It's also very poetic. As a bee enters the lotus. Why would bee enter the lotus? To enjoy with the nectar, right? And what is this nectar? That's the nectar of our rasa, all the restored relationship, restored nature of our heart, which manifests this rasa. And how he put it in wording, Krishna here. In my transcendental personal form, that's further explanation by Krishna of these words. In my transcendental personal form, that's the first level of understanding. Krishna revealed his form. And in this form, I reveal my qualities. There's a second level of what we see there, of appearance Krishna there. I reveal my qualities, and with the shining lamp of the knowledge of these qualities, I destroy the darkness of ignorance, of anadi karma. Anadi. Adi means beginning. Anadi means beginningless karma, because we cannot trace actually the moment we enter here and start our activity. Therefore, our karma really beginningless. And this darkness of this beginningless karma obstructs true knowledge and manifests as hankering for things other than me. That's two effects of this darkness of ignorance which remain still in the heart. So first, it obstructs true knowledge, and the second manifests as hankering for things other than me. What does it mean actually? What does real knowledge mean? Because Krishna already shown the knowledge of his form. It's already revealed. He revealed his form, that first level of understanding of the knowledge, right? And he also reveals the second level of our understanding. That's the knowledge of his personal qualities. In my transcendental form, I reveal my qualities. It's not real knowledge yet. He said the real knowledge is still ahead. It's under the cover of this remain ignorance there. And with the shining lamp of the knowledge of my qualities, I dissipate this darkness, remain darkness there. And then true knowledge come in the picture. So what is this true knowledge? If the personal form of Krishna is not knowledge, and the qualities of Krishna not knowledge, so what is the true knowledge? What is left? Rupa is covered already, and Guna is covered already, and what is left? Lila. That's the last limit of knowledge. That's what was covered with this remained darkness. So thus Krishna reveals this himself in on three levels of understanding, as his personal form and as the quality of this form. Or it also could be because Krishna has 64 qualities, and they are divided further into three sections: the qualities of his rupa and the qualities of his beautiful voice. It's very deep, the voice by nature, and it sounds like a thunderbolt. And then we have, of course, the quality of his character, like magnanimity, compassionate nature. That's, it's shown in the lila. This kind of qualities of Krishna's character and the mind, or personality we call it, it's shown in the lila. The qualities applied in some kind of activity, that's the definition of lila of Krishna. So all three levels, they become manifest in the heart. During this entrance of Krishna, appearance of Krishna in the heart on the level of sadhya, or advanced devotion, bhava and prema. And also said here, Chitraketu Maharaj makes this point also, that all the impurities in the heart being eradicated by this darshan of the Lord. So we progress in our sadhana bhakti, and then 75% of anartha removed on the level of anartha nivritti, and the remaining portion is being removed on some higher level of our bhakti. And the last smell of this anartha being removed just only by the personal darshan of Krishna. And it's described by Srimad Bhagavad actually what happening during this darshan. This 3:25:36. Upon seeing the charming form of the Lord, the description of darshan, smiling and attractive, and hearing his very pleasing words, the pure devotee almost loses all other consciousness. His senses are freed from all other engagement, and he becomes absorbed in devotional service. It's a very interesting point here. Why his senses are freed from any other engagements? Right? Because finally they found the original sense objects. We were searching for it for so long to get some satisfaction in this material world, connecting our senses to different sense objects, but it was never satisfying. So finally they got into the contact with the original sense object, like beautiful form of Krishna, the attributes of this personality of Krishna. It's like, and they thoroughly satisfied. This connection of our senses with our original sense object, it's so satisfying. As the example given, like lost children found their mother. They just stopped crying. They completely satisfied, just lying on the lap of their mother. That's how our senses feel, actually. And then when they're in contact with the original attributes of the form of Krishna, when they see beautiful eyes, long like a lotus petal, widely spread, and then the beautiful brows like a cupid bow, which flashes the sidelong glances like a beautiful lotuses. So when we see it, we're completely satisfied, and all other engagement of the senses become meaningless for the devotee. No need in anything else. There is no any requirement to do anything else, just but always serve these original sense objects. And there is no distraction anymore. Therefore, whatever was distraction before, it doesn't exist anymore. Therefore, they're free from all engagement. And from this point, he becomes this true seeker, real seeker of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From this point, when the original senses of this devotee came into contact with the original sense object, from this point, he becomes really absorbed in devotional service. Because he's just serving without any interaction, without any interruption to Krishna. And then Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 13th chapter, that Brahma Vimohana Lila, discusses the direct meaning of the darshan of the Lord. It describes the direct meeting the Lord with his devotee, in this case with Brahma, because Brahma has stolen all these boys and comes, and to teach him, Krishna expanded himself in all these forms of the boys and the cows, and then he revealed these forms as himself. Thousands of these Vishnu forms revealed to Brahma to see, to behold. And this darshan is described here in this particular verse, and it's very empowering word. Verse. Therefore, it's nice to hear this verse and analyze it. It goes like this. Those Vishnu forms, by their pure smiling, which resembles the increasing light of the moon, and by the sidelong glances of their reddish eyes, created and protected the desires of their own devotees, as if by the modes of passion and goodness. So here we have Vishnu form glancing on Brahma and smiling at him. And what is the effect of this? Created the desires of their own devotees. So impetus to have even desire to serve the Lord comes from the Lord. This is the glance of the Lord. He's glancing on the devotee, and it creates a desire of our bhakti, just somehow to reciprocate in our devotional service with the Lord. And then the smile, it protects this desire. So double effect of this darshan. It creates a desire in our bhakti to reciprocate with the kindness of the Lord, and it protects the smile, protects these desires. And Srila Prabhupada explained actually what happens, because it's very deep, how it's happening and what happening exactly. So Srila Prabhupada explained what happens when Lord glances at devotee with his eyes and smile at him. Those Vishnu forms, Srila Prabhupada writes, blessed the devotees with their clear glances and smiles, which resemble the increasingly full light of the moon. And he gives this Shikshashtaka verse, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaram, this is first verse of Shikshashtaka. This Sankirtana movement is like a Shreya Kairava. What is a Shreya Kairava? Kairava means blue, white lotus, spotlessly white lotus of Shreya, good fortune, which Chandrika Vicharanam. Vicharana means spreads. What Chandrika? Chandrika means rays of the moon. What is this rays of the moon? Actually, that's a benediction of the moon of Krishna consciousness. These rays of Krishna consciousness, which is supposed to be spread all over the world. But first, it has to enter the heart of the devotee who will spread it all over the world. So that's what exactly happening during this darshan. What does it mean that the Brahma got this glance full of this rays of benediction moon? That the glance of the Lord actually emanates the Hladini Shakti. And the product of this Hladini Shakti is love of Godhead. Meaning, when we stay in front of the Lord, that's what we get. Hladini Shakti and the love of Godhead, which comes alone. Actually, that synonym, Srila Prabhupada says, shows the connection between Hladini and devotional service and the love of Godhead. He says that's a synonym of Hladini Shakti, that's love of Godhead. In some other place, he says it's a product of Hladini Shakti, the love of Godhead. And the devotional service at Bhakti Shakti, the devotional service is the means to express this love of Godhead, right? That's the connection, that's how they connected. Like this, Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of all these three. She is an embodiment of Hladini Shakti, she is an embodiment of pure devotional service, and she is an embodiment of pure love of Godhead. That's everything is here. So here, Vishnu form glancing on Brahma and smiling at Brahma, and the light of the moon of pure devotion comes into the heart of Brahma, together with this glance. That's the effect of the darshan. We are getting this Hladini, we are getting this pure love of Godhead with the glance. And if we are capable to accept it, if we are eligible to accept it, that's what we get. And Srila Prabhupada mentions further, as maintainers, all these Vishnu forms, thousands of Vishnu forms, they glanced upon their devotees, embracing them and protecting them by smiling. It makes everything even more interesting. This glance has the power to embrace. They felt, Brahma felt embraced with the glance of Krishna. And the smile gives protection to the desires of the devotee to be embraced, actually. And it's very significant for us, because when we stay in front of the deity, that's exactly what's happening. That's the physical presence of the Lord, that's not a statue, that Nanda himself, that Krishna himself, how he glances, embracing, how he smiles, protecting. And if you are able to catch this glance, that's what we get. It creates a lot of desires. Actually, this is a manifestation of Ichka Shakti. We said at the beginning that these Shaktis, especially these three, they facilitate the devotee in this loving reciprocation during the darshan. So first, Ichka Shakti. See how Srila Prabhupada puts here. As maintainers. So nobody appointed them to be our maintainers. They were not forced to take this role. Krishna, by his free will, he chose to become our maintainers. Also, he's not obliged to do it. And protector. Why? Because he has his free will. That's what we call Ichha, the desire, the independent desire which will manifest in this form. Although we left him, although we turned our back to him, but still, he has chosen himself voluntarily to become our maintainer and our protector. That's a manifestation of Ichha, desire, this passionate desire to have this relationship with the living entity. Although they left him. And the same he wanted from us, voluntarily, to desire to turn our face to him and to have this reciprocation voluntarily without any force. He could do what? He could do just close this picture. He could do, he could just close this material world and just give everyone pure love of God just by force. But he doesn't want. He doesn't want it. Therefore, he asks, he empowers the spiritual master to take the job, to create this desire in the heart, to voluntarily choose him as a worshipable deity. Voluntarily. That's how the contact with Ichha Shakti, here we see with this glance, Ishka Shakti comes as a desire. He embraces us with this desire to have the relationship with us. That's how we feel. And when we are in the contact as real seeker of it, and we are eligible, this contact, pure contact, will create the same desire in our heart. That's how we reciprocate with this desire of Krishna, which embraces us, to have this relationship with Him. That's how we voluntarily reciprocate, by developing this desire in the heart to reciprocate with that kind of desire of the Lord, to have us as His lovers. Really, He's waiting for us. And this is the effect of Ichka Shakti. It creates a lot of desires in our Krishna consciousness, in our devotional service, to please the Lord. Otherwise, without this connection with this Ichka Shakti, this desire cannot even manifest itself. How you will desire to reciprocate with the desire unless you are not in the contact with the desire? Or how you will desire to please the Lord if you are not in the contact with pleasure potency of the Lord? That's happening just in their presence. All right? And then we have smile, which protecting these desires. So the glance creates these desires to reciprocate with the Lord. A lot of this desire, not just the desire, but great desire, that Srila Prabhupada mentioned after. And the smile protects the desire. How to protect it? What does it mean to protect the desire? To keep us always inspired to have more and more, or deeper and deeper desires in relationship with the Lord. That's how it's happening. And then, of course, to protect desire means to fulfill them, right? That's how they will be protected. And for this, two more energies appear together with Ichka Shakti in the same packet. Two more energies come to empower the living entity. That's Jnana Shakti, how to fulfill the desire. Desire already there, it appeared. Yes, I want to do it for my Lord. And immediately with this desire comes the knowledge how to do it, how to fulfill the desire. That's the influence of Jnana Shakti. So they come into package. That's one package of empowerment. First, Ichka Shakti, the desire of the Lord to have this reciprocation, to have this loving exchange with us. They are coming into contact with it, it creates the same desire. And this desire actually becomes our goal, right? To have this particular relationship with the Lord. That's how Ichka Shakti set up our prayojana, our goal. This desire becomes our goal. Ichka Shakti manifests our prayojana. And then the knowledge comes how to fulfill this desire. This Jnana Shakti establish our sambandha, the knowledge of the relationship with the Lord in which we can fulfill our desire. Thus, this Jnana Shakti, it manifests our sambandha. And then, when I know already, it's already revealed by this Jnana Shakti, it's already revealed how to fulfill the desire in my relationship with the Lord. What comes next? Kriya Shakti. Kriya means activity, that the power to apply this knowledge in some particular activity to fulfill the desire. Thus, this Kriya Shakti, it manifests what? Our Abhideya, exactly, the method, how to get there. Thus, we are totally empowered during the darshan. We are totally empowered with these three Shakti to have this power to do something very powerful for the Lord. And the more sincere we are, the more this empowerment comes as a result of being more connected to these Shaktis. That's the secret of empowerment. That's why it's so important to stay in front of the Lord with proper consciousness. What I'm doing here. What I'm doing here. And then Prabhupada mentioned that this affectionate glance and smile of the Lord maintains the devotees. That's the next beautiful point here. That's not food which maintains us. That's not shelter which maintains us. That's a glance filled with this affection of the Lord that maintains us. That's how we get our nourishment during the darshan. It's very significant to understand what we're doing in front of the Lord, right? That's our daily bread. It's not that bread the Christians ask for, right? The Lord. That's our daily bread. That's the glance full of mercy and affection of the Lord, which really maintains us. That's our daily sweets, not just bread. Bread is. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that the word svaka arthanam refers to great desire. So this glance full of mercy and affection which embraces us create not just desire but great desire. All these rhinoceros which we're supposed to chase after in our devotional service, they're coming from the glance of the Lord. The desire to do big things for the Krishna, they're coming from the glance. They're coming from this direct darshan of the Lord. We got all our rhinoceros to chase after. And Srila Prabhupada explains this, giving the beautiful example here. In Vrindavana, there is a place where there was no temple, but the devotee desired, let there be a temple and seva devotional service. Therefore, what was once an empty corner has now become a place of pilgrimage. Such are the desires of a devotee. That's how Srila Prabhupada got this desire, inspired by the glance, by the direct reciprocation, by the direct contact with the Lord, right? And then all these shaktis came, like with folded hand. How I can fulfill your desire, right? They're already in the disposal of a pure devotee, because they're supposed to serve the Lord. So the best server or servant, that's a spiritual master, a pure devotee. So all these shaktis, they're there as maidservants, staying in front of him. Please apply us. So we are here to fulfill your desires. That's the same empowerment I wish all of us get in front of the Lord. And thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's difficult to say, probably from some purport by some acharyas. And it's explained, all the removing of anartha, it's explained in different sources, like Harinama Chintamani by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how all the anarthas remove step by step on different levels of bhakti. And it's mentioned that anartha nivritti, characterized by this 75% already. Anartha has gone on this level.
If Krishna and his name are non-different, then how do we see Krishna through chanting the holy names? Because the chanting is a sound vibration, or it's a word. So how do we see Krishna there?
Okay. It's also explained, I didn't read this, there is specific word, there is specific, verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which also describes this, how Krishna appears during the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One moment. Yeah. So Srimad Bhagavatam describes this in the Canto 1, Chapter 6, verse 33. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appears on the seat of my heart, as if called for, as soon as I begin to chant his holy name and activities. That's the appearance of the Krishna in the heart. That's already advanced level. When he just appeared as a spurti, and as soon as we start chanting, he appears. And then when we stop chanting, he disappears. That's spurti. That's momentarily vision of the Lord during some activity. here described here. That's particular he manifests himself while chanting. But of course the sound vibration is not different from him. That's how it should be. That's also that's already perfection to see him in the heart when we chant. But before this we can perceive him. We can perceive his kindness. We can perceive this rays of the moon in the heart and how it spread as satisfaction, as a bliss, some kind of happiness which it brings, this chanting. So that's how we can perceive Krishna in Mahamantra. And also all these ecstatic symptoms may come by his grace, like tears and horripilation and things like this. Grantarachima.
You mentioned 4 ways how to see Krishna, how to receive darshan, and last one you say that on the level of Mahabhava, devotee able to see Krishna everywhere.
Mahabhagavata, yeah.
Mahabhagavata.
Mahabhagavata.
You say, I heard this like Mahabhava.
Mahabhagavata, yeah. That's very advanced devotee who sees everything not different from Krishna. He actually.
So what is the level?
Mahabhagavata.
It's a prema or bhava, yeah.
Yes, that started from level of bhava. When we don't see creation, when we don't see external manifestation, we don't discriminate between the forms. This is already gone. The discrimination between external forms, it's a kind of duality. And this is the contamination of this material nature. It will manifest in our consciousness as considering everything like in polarities. This is good, this is bad, this is white, this is black. Everything is gone, and then the next, what we will see everything connected with the Lord. So duality gone, and then oneness comes. That's the next stage. Yeah, we will see everything united, and we will see everything as the Lord Himself. That's how Lord Himself sees this world, as filled with Srimati Radharani. He sees everything as Srimati Radharani is her manifestation. That's her lip, that's her eyes, that's her smiling cheeks. Everything he sees, wherever he casts his glance, he sees this manifestation of Srimati Radharani. The same Srimati Radharani sees this world as Krishna, just filled with Krishna. That's the vision we're supposed to develop. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Pramanande, Hare Krishna.